Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? And welcome to BRL. I am Mr. Castristics. I am your host, as per usual, and I'm going to be with you here for the next hour and a bit. Right, we have got one hell of a race. Welcome to round 7, Texas. We are at the Circuit of the Americas, which personally, I think I'm probably going to say this on behalf of a lot of Formula One fans. Cota's the best American track. It just is. Like, let's be honest. Um, so hopefully we get some good racing. Our Henson's let me know rather nicely that we have rain during the race as well, which is certainly very interesting and something that I'm wholeheartedly looking forward to. So that should be a right laugh. Um, should we take a quick look at what is the lesser important championship at the moment, the Drivers' Championship, which is very rare to say that the Drivers' Championship is the least important one because Mr. Cookie's already won it. 153 points he stands at. Jay Thompson below him on 82, and J Horse on 69. Though gap between J Horse, Aramileth, and our Henson very very close. 3 points split them. Exotic only another 4 points behind them. But he's in a fight with sort of Kresnos at KTT and really Danksy as well. So it's actually a very tight and compact midfield there in the Constructors' Championship. But, in the Drivers' Championship. But the Constructors' Championship, that's the one I'm looking for, is a hell of a lot closer. Mercedes are on 159, Ferrari 130. So 29 points split them, which is, when I tell you, it is so plausible that isn't even a close. That isn't a big gap whatsoever. You might think, oh yeah, 26 points is a big gap, but all of a sudden, you've got two sets of drivers. Sorry, results point system, and first place gets 25, and 29. So first, if you got first and 11th, and Mercedes didn't score points today, Ferrari would go level. So they have got a very good opportunity to certainly catch up to Mercedes and take it down to the last day. Williams, on the other hand, are still in this fight. I think they're only in it by about 2 points. So if Mercedes get 2 points over Williams, I think they take the title away from Williams's hands. But it is still three-way going into the second last race of the season. We've only got one more race after this. If you're wondering which one it is, I can just grab that for you now. Check the calendar. Brazil, which is always a lovely track to go to end a to end a season. Right. Well, other than that, I think we should probably take a quick look into the game or into the race itself because it's currently going on. And it's been going on for a little while now. We've got 12 minutes to go of the session, so a fair bit of time has been killed, I must say. I also don't have any of my systems set up. There we go. They're all set up now. Most people have put a time down. We're only waiting on 2 more. We're waiting on Blackbone and F1ology. Blackbone and... Oh, yeah, no, F1ology was a person. Oh, and Blackbone just invalidating and coming into the pit lane. Don't know whether that was on purpose or not. You couldn't really tell from that angle. Right, couple things you should know. First of all, I apologise if I'm not quite as sprightly today than usual. Unfortunately, it is currently exam season for me. So when I tell you I am shattered. It's been a long few days, and I'm beginning to struggle. My last exam's on Friday, so well, I say on Friday. It's the last one until the end of June. So it's a bit depressing, but hopefully for the final race of the season, I should be very raring to go. The energy should be high. That is the plan anyway. F1ology currently still out on track. Though has invalidated this lap as well. So I think he's gone to try and... Sorry, he has gone to try a lap and then he's invalidated it once again. So he's going to have to go out for another lap still. With 11 minutes done. With less than 11 minutes to go. Let's get pushing it a little bit. Our Henson there diving into the pit lane. Currently P5 with his teammate P10. Which I can't tell you how many points that gives them because that's not what I've got up on my thingy. Results point system. And then it all goes again. There we go. Oh, bless me. Whew, that was one hell of a sneeze. So what is it? It's P5 and P10, which is 16 and 6. That's not actually not bad, you know. 22 points. Can't complain. Mr. Cookie though is currently picking up 25. Yeah. So Ferrari would still go behind. Mr. Cookie doing all the work by himself today as well. He is the only man in that Mercedes seat. There is no other Mercedes. We should actually play the game of who's missing. So we have got only the one Red Bull. So there is Red Bull missing. So it only leaves 3 left. We know that there's a Mercedes gone. So we know that there is a Mercedes left. Both Ferraris, they are full. Both McLarens, nope. Only the one McLaren. So we're missing a Red Bull, a McLaren, and a Mercedes. So there's only one more that we're missing. This should be fairly easy to spot. In fact, I have already spotted it, but we'll run through them anyway. There's no Aston Martin, both Aston Martins. There's both Alfa Romeos. There's both Alfa Tauris. There's both Williams, and there are. Oh, hang on a minute. 17, 18, 19, and 20. There is 4, isn't it? So just the one Mercedes, just the one Red Bull, just the one McLaren, just the one Haas. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't even notice Jay Thompson. I thought that Jay Thompson wasn't here, and it was just Resurrection in the Alpine. That really confused me for a second. There we go. That is who we're missing. We're missing a Mercedes, a Haas, a McLaren, and a Red Bull. Of which, actually, this is very interesting. They're split very nicely. You've seen the Mercedes and the Haas right at the top. Cadem and the McLaren right slap in the middle. And F1ology currently unable to set a time as of yet. We are currently on board with Hazard as well. He's going around the track. Hazard, guess what corner he's at. I'm here all day. But this could be important because obviously Mr. Cookie's gone home and taken the Drivers' Championship. In some style as well, may I say. Something I have found quite funny is that sorry, it's going to happen again. So 159 points Mercedes currently sits on. 153 of those 159 points are Mr. Cookie. So the question stands: will Mr. Cookie win both the Bear Racing League Drivers title and the Bear Racing League Constructors title? Obviously, you know, deduct 6 points from Mercedes' final score. If they still do it, then fair play. You know, if Mr. Cookie can win the constructor standings in BRL, maybe it's a time for a rehash. Get some competition. I remember once upon a time when Cookie just couldn't win, and now he might win both of the championships single-handedly. And I don't like that fact. It's scary. He's gotten good. Right, who's cross next? Ferrari across next of Aramelath, but he's coming into the pits. Then it's an Aston Martin. I said that in a very American voice then, didn't I? Cam McKenzie, who is indeed going to the line. Let's see how he gets on. He's currently running in 132, 33, 33.2. It's going to be 6 tenths off. That puts him P8. That's a very solid time so far. An Alpine just following him behind. Jay Thompson, I believe, to start a lap. Another Alpine just coming across behind. That's Resurrection. He's currently invalidated and he'll be starting his lap now. Cadem just behind and see how he's getting on. Nope, he's coming into the pit lane. We got an Alfa Romeo through next. That's Kresnos, and then the Ferrari behind. That will be our Henson. Kresnos remains P3 after only going a couple thousandths of a second slower than his first time. Our Henson just starting a time here. Couple more drivers coming across the line now. I believe that's Cam. It is a couple of hundredths improved. It's not going to be by a whole lot. Oh, no, it's not. It was actually Catet who has improved by quite a whole lot because he's gone P3 with that attempt. So, slightly different to what I'd been saying, which I do apologise for. Couple of yellow flags going on through Sector 1. Very common. Would not be surprised if someone went flying off here within the first lap or two of the race. How do I think the race is going to go is one of my personal favourite questions to be asked, because it shows my general genius and expertise of Formula 1. My answer does usually remain the same. I have no idea whatsoever. It's just too random. Krasnos invalidated on his time. 2 Alpines. They'll be diving into the pit lane to run through there. I think pretty much everybody is rushing back to the pit lane. Get in as quickly as possible and try and hold off. And sorry, try and get another timing because it's going to be surprisingly tough. Hazard going again. He's just starting a lap by the looks of it. Yeah, he's got full ERS, and that ERS is draining at a rate of knots. So yeah, this is a flying lap from Hazard. Let's see how he goes. It's fairly neat through the first sector. It's a 10th faster than he's done before, so that's going to put him really top 6. He's going to have to do a bit more to get top 4. I love the fact that we have that camera angle in the game. It's brilliant. Deep into the brakes, hooks up that left nicely, gets it over to the left-hand side very well. Now it's a matter of... I'm surprised he didn't try and use the slipstream of the Alpine, really, but he's going for it by himself into Sector 2. Sector 2 still happening. We'll be crossing into Sector 3 in just a moment's time. He's faster, but not by a lot. Actually, a little bit of time lost there, so he's going to have to he really does have his work cut out for him. The double left-hand corner looks tidy. Can't say anything, can't really give a massive complaint about this lap. It's just been neat. Has it been fast? Moderately. I can see him gaining a position out of this, maybe 2, if he's really nailed that third sector. I'm not going to sit here and say it was an absolutely superb lap, because it's only going to put in P7. But I think he'll be happy with that. It's improvements, and it will probably be his final lap tonight, just because it is quite a long circuit to get round. And it won't be long before most people are leaving the pits to get themselves going. Alrighty, so quite a lot of people on outlaps. I don't think, is Aaron left going for a lap? Not by the looks of it. He is taking his sweet time, Aaron left. So he's most certainly not going for a lap. He's being very complacent in his driving. Alright, who is going to be our first of the final flyers? It's going to be Indigo. I call him the first of the final flyers. Bit of a tongue twister, but it works because we now basically just follow whoever comes across the line every time. This cookie isn't comfortable in pole position, so he is out on track going for a lap. We've got 1 minute and 40 to go, so everybody will make it round. No question about that. Indigo might even, well, actually in theory should be getting through with time to spare for another lap. Does he indeed need it? If it happens soon enough. This is really quick through here at the moment. You can see he's just nailed that purple sector 1. You could tell he was absolutely flying through there. He's really gunning it. All of a sudden, the speed of the Alfa Romeo is looking very strong. Hooks it into the left nicely. Gets the good acceleration out. Very hard on the RPMs. Really running it as hard as possible in gear 3 alone. Uses the Haas of Jelena as much as physically possible before then switching back to the right hand side before he'll come steaming into the left hand hairpin at the end of the straight. looking still very nice. It's fastest sector 2. Indigo is putting together one hell of a lap here. It just looks so much faster than anything I've seen so far today. Resurrection retiring from the session. Not sure what caused that. Might have been in the pit lane. I think so. Yes, it was. Indigo now in sector 3. You can just see the pace he's carrying through each one of these corners is absolutely fantastic as he comes around at the final corner today. Is he going to be able to stick it on provisional pole? It was certainly looking like it after sector 2. It's not only provisional pole, it is provisional pole by some margin as Jelena comes across the line to start his time. Try and catch as much as possible. The near 7/10 of a second of a gap between him and Indigo, who has put in one heck of a time, I must say so. Blackbone just coming across the line there, puts himself P5. Our Henson's teammate Amalef has crashed at the final corner. Gonna have to try and see if we can spot what happened to him. Oh, unfortunately not Caden as well, just invalidating there, I believe, if I am correct in saying. Aston Martin through next. That is Cam. He's looking slightly quicker through sector 2. I don't know how his sector 3 has been, but can he jump? Yes, he can. Jumps up to P8. Solid for him. His teammate Cadet is the next man through, and his sector 2 time wasn't brilliant. In fact, he has got work to do, and he has run very, very wide there, proving that he is completely and utterly done. Our Henson, the next man through, is still looking quicker than his original time. Jumps up to P3. Really strong time there, in fact. Mr. Cookie, 4/10 faster through sector 2. It's just a couple more corners to go. Can he quite just about grasp onto the provisional pole position? He will have Jelena to beat, but he invalidates at the final corner, and it would have been good enough. It was a 1:31.8, I believe. It was about 5/10 quicker than what he's done so far, so it would have been provisional pole, and Jelena's in the wall. And Mr. Cookie has crumbled at the final hurdle. But that allows Indigo a comfortable pole position today by nearly 4/10 of a second. Just humiliate Cookie there. Right, Indigo is our pole time of 1:31.995 for the Alfa Romeo side, and will be lining up with Mr. Cookie on the front row in a moment's time. Our Henson in P3, joined by Jelena on the second row. Pablos and Cadet on the third, Blackbone and Kresnos on the fourth, Jay Thompson and Cam on the fifth, Hazard and Star Wars in the sixth, Kadam and Amalef on the seventh, Resurrection and F1ology on the eighth and final. And that stopped much more. Oh, no, that's terrible English. Much more quickly. Much briefer? I don't know if that's a word. To be fair, I could probably just say much quicker than I was expecting. Alrighty. Buckle up because we are about to get going. Dry until like lap 20, and then it rains, and then it's going to be dry again. We've got a dry, wet, dry race on our hands, and it is about to all kick off as we do go green here in the United States, and Indigo gets off to a very good start. Mr. Cookie is going to be able to hold the inside line here into turn one. Is he going to be able to get late on the brakes and get himself up into the lead of the race? The Alfa Romeo holds it round the outside, but Mr. Cookie does indeed sweep into the lead of the race. Indigo is going to have to hold on to P2 for the moment as Henson had a little bit of contact to him through turn one, but he remains P3 nevertheless. Jelena falling back slightly is Pablos, having a good scrap with Jay Thompson. There as the car goes flying off. That's Catet, ladies and gentlemen, going flying off the track. Not what you want to see whatsoever. It's not going to be a safety car by the looks of it, because he has got himself going. But the two, Williams and AlphaTauri giving it a good fight at the moment. Blackburn not quite able to hold the position, but he is going to try and come back on it on the left-hand side. And I think the McLaren wants to get involved as well. He's going to try and squeeze down the middle, but it doesn't quite work. And I think the Williams is going to be able to finally get the possession there. And they do make a bit of contact, Hazard and Cadem. But both continue on the road ahead, even if Cadem loses a position to Cam in the process. It's not McCann, it's Cam McKenzie. And speak of the devil, he's going down the inside of the AlphaTauri in a very nice move and makes it work as well. Aston Martin doing very, very well there. So after a chaotic first lap, we rounded out, ready to start the next one all over again. Just one more corner until that process starts up. We have got 28 laps of racing to do. So our Henson saying it's dry until like lap 20. I mean, that gives you what? It usually takes about 3-4 laps for a track to get wet, pit, and then it's going to have to dry immediately again. Personally, if it's going to start raining at lap 20, it won't dry in time. It won't dry up again. It will be slicks inters. If it's like lap 15, it's plausible because it could start drying on sort of lap 22-ish. Like raining lap 15 to lap 17, kept raining from lap 17 to about lap 19, dries up from lap 19 to 22, and then finish the race on slicks. Plausible. From lap 20, that's a lot. That's a lot to happen within just a couple of laps. We're currently watching this beautiful fight as Jelena trying to hold the outside line, but I think the AlphaTauri is going to have a very nice dive bomb opportunity and gets himself through very cleanly. Though Jelena isn't exactly in a bad place, is he? I mean, it's still P5 as it stands. Okay, over a second of a gap between Pavlos and our Henson. Those three beginning to pull away almost immediately, and Mr. Cookie doing a very good job to sort of basically just keep that about half a second gap between him and Indigo, because that just prevents Indigo from getting close enough to be able to launch and move, but obviously not quite far enough away to get out of DRS. So it's a bit of a yin and yang, but Indigo has just gone fastest on those hard tyres. We should probably check tyres, actually. A very good point. Most people rocking mediums by the looks of it. Indigo, Jay Thompson, Amaleth, Cadet, and Resurrection, the only people opting for the hard until this just had to be the case in the F1ology has stuck on a set of hards as soon as I say and list out those who have started the race on the hard tyre. He has come into the pit lane and indeed DNF'd, sorry, from the pit lane as Resurrection is getting himself in for a swap as well. He's gone onto a set of medium tyres. Hopefully won't get blocked off by F1ology. No, F1ology has re-entered the track for some reason. Not too sure, but he is driving rather slowly over. And don't worry, it isn't him. It is just his AI. And the AI is a bit stupid, I will say. They aren't the sharpest tools in the shed whatsoever. We've got a move. We've had a move happen. Cadem and Hazard really fighting out, battle tout for tout. But the McLaren's going to hold the position for now, and I think the AlphaTauri is going to be able to go for one of my favourite moves at this track, going up the inside out the double left-hander. He hasn't been able to maximise the exit quite as much as he would have hoped. Now he's going to have to try and stick it around the outside, around, what's it, the triple right, in the nicest way possible. That was never happening, was it? The McLaren of Cadem holds P10 for now, and Hazard will have to try and give it another go. Probably, I doubt, in too much of a distant time. Pablos has managed to just get past our Henson there at turn 1. Nothing too unsurprising about that. It's a fairly comfortable place to make an overtake. You know, it's the only downside to it is that you can't Obviously, you can't see over the crest, but you know you're not going to have another car coming in the opposite direction, unless of course Nikita is still on the grid with us. But I don't think he is anymore. Thank God for that. Alrighty, we are calming down almost immediately. Our Henson just on the back of Pablos actually, and he's going to go for the move down the inside at just after the DRS straight, and he's got it done very nicely. I think you have just having to defend a little bit though through these next couple of corners, because look at that! Oh, what a beautiful switchback from the AlphaTauri. That is stunning work, I've got to say. The Ferrari, Dar Henson, yeah, you got your luck cut out there. You've just come up against somebody who knows how to place their car in the right place at the right time, because that was superb. But it's not exactly like our Henson is giving up that easily, is he? I don't think he's going to go for a move here. No, he's not. But he is still what, tenths behind, so it would not surprise me if he goes for a move very soon. We're going to just jump ahead though to Indigo, because he's fighting Mr. Cookie, and then he got very close to overtaking through turn 1. Page 190. So if you don't know why I just said page 100, I have a book, and this book has some lovely circuits in it, Formula 1 circuits, and I thought I'd talk you through sort of some of the corners, because I didn't know whether any of them were named, and I've just found out no, none of them are in fact named. But that's just fine. You know, sometimes you know that's life. Things just aren't named. They're inanimate. So what? We're currently traversing through 13 and then 14. Then what's interesting is all of these, it's only that final corner, it's only that apex that's corner 15, all of that wiggling around, because that's 16, that's 17, then that's 18. One of those corners, I believe, 1, 2... Yeah, it's weird how that... It is 3 corners, that is 16, 17 and 18, that triple right. And then sweeping to the left, 19 and 20. We have got still a very condensed pack. It hasn't spread quite like it usually does at COTA. COTA's very good for spreading. Actually, no. COTA's very good for either spreading the track out or DRS train of the century. There's just kind of no middle ground. There's no one that goes, oh yeah, should we have a battle every now? No, it's either a battle constantly or no battle whatsoever. But currently, it is actually kind of just in the bit of a middle ground. You know, these guys travelling down the straight into turn 12. It's annoying that I can't say, oh, it's the da-da-da straight, because it doesn't have a name. The track's far too new to have names. Which I find really weird. It's just one of those things. Corner names on tracks I really like. I think they make sense. I think it gives the track a bit of personality. Whereas a lot of the Tilke tracks, obviously, they just don't have names in them at all. No corner names, no nothing. So it's just a bit bland at that point, you know. Quite a few close battles, just not much coming out of them right now. I'm going to say this is probably the closest, though. The triple way fight for P4. Are Henson, Jelena, and Star Wars Beast are beginning to get interested and involved in the fighting right now. All 3 drivers will be working to ensure maximum possible success. But I think early on in the race, if you can really set the tone of your race early, that's so helpful in a way of, getting your mentality right. Otherwise, it can sort of just slip. Whoa, we got a safety car. Blackbone's out. Why is Blackbone out? He's out because he's gone spinning into the left side of that wall. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. We have a safety car, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if the rain is led to be true, then what? We've got probably about 14 laps left, which is a bit much for these medium tyres. Probably even a little bit much for the tards. So I reckon somebody either whack on a set of mediums, if you've got a spare set of mediums, whack on mediums, or you swap to hards. I think another set of mediums would make it. They'd be on the slightly worn side, but they'd make it to the rain. But then you're betting on the rain coming at lap 20. Comes at lap 21, you're stuffed a bit, which is why which is why Mr. Cookie's been smart here and put on a set of hards. Indigo obviously going for the mediums, considering the fact that he that doesn't break any rules for him. Star Wars going for a set of softs. He really doesn't think it's going to last that long until the end of the until the end of the safety car. Is a bold move. Considering the fact most people have elected for most people have elected for mediums. But then again, Resurrection is 35 seconds behind everyone else and hasn't swapped tyres yet. So when he does inevitably come into the pit lane and swap his tyres, that will go to a hard, and then that makes it more hard dominant. If sense make, yes make, at all whatsoever. Because it certainly didn't for me. Right, I'm going to go grab a drink whilst we're in this safety car. Right, what has happened here? Um, so Mr. Cookie hasn't set the safety car to be what's it to be realistic, and currently everybody's lost control of their cars. Hence why this is happening and why I'm watching the back of the safety car. So yeah. Right. Everybody is absolutely fuming, to be totally honest with you. But I am at least nearly back. Oh, hey, I am back in control. Right. Um, and apparently, rain in 10 minutes, but track won't be inters till later, is kind of the consensus at the moment. And Miss Cookie is good about to start and get ready to go here today. And we do get underway. Once again, Miss Cookie leading us off from the pack and has gotten off to a very good start. Indigo following him from behind, but it's not going to be anything into turn one. I don't think it's going to be anything from anybody into turn one. Maybe a little look from the Aston Martin, but nope. Everybody through very calmly. Caden with the 3-second time, but it's even multiple warnings. That is not the kind of thing you want as soon as you get going on the safety car. And look at how bleak it is out there. It is certainly the right conditions for rain. It's just a matter of when is it going to happen. Is it going to be in 2 minutes? Is it going to be in 15? Absolutely no idea whatsoever. But the gentlemen are currently running down into turn 11. And I think Indigo nearly had a good look there to the inside, but elected to not go for it in the end and wait until this straight, which makes total logical sense because through goes Indigo into the lead of the race. Mr. Cookie will not be a happy bunny about that. And will be right on the back of that Alfa Romeo, I wholeheartedly imagine. So long as he's got the pace for it, Mr. Cookie will want that place back. I can tell you that much for free. Bar that, though, we have got utter pandemonia just behind as, who was that? That's Jelena. Just setting fastest set to 2 time there. Unfortunately, it will not be the fastest lap of the race because of, safety car and that. But everybody running through pretty nicely. I don't really know what happened back here, but Hazard getting held up a little bit by Resurrection and the Aston Martin just in front. Cam did look to try and go for a move, but he's picked up a 30 seconds up, but it's even multiple warnings. And now the Alfa Romeo is going to try and slot through. And I think he might just about have it done. Gets pushed off slightly. Cam, he's going to have to re-enter the track. Re-enters perfectly safely. Is going to swatch to the inside of the Alfa Romeo. Can he get the dive bomb done? It's pretty well lined up, but he's going to just brake far too late, and that's going to allow the Alfa Romeo the easiest switchback I think he'll ever perform in his life. Mr. Cookie on these hard tyres is not a combination that you really want to be seeing because Indigo is already 1.4 seconds faster than Mr. Cookie. Good evening, Blackbone. How are you, my friend? What happened? What happened? We saw you in the wall. I'm gonna guess tank slapper. That's my guess. Lost the rear. Yeah. Here we go. The number 3, Pablos, trying to get the move on Cookie. The man has fallen from the top down and down. He continues to go. Mr. Cookie falls to P3 as Jelena will probably be wanting to pick up the scraps of this man on the hard tyres. He's just not playing the game with him. He does not like these tyres whatsoever, and he'll be trying to get past try and get off them as soon as possible. So I certainly imagine Mr. Cookie will be hoping for rain any time soon. That is the man that is holding Mercedes Constructors Championship. That is the man that's holding it together at the moment. Henson is doing a very good job in P5 and Aramelef in P9. Shame, but take it. It was a good 10 laps of practice for tomorrow. I'm going to say that is the benefit for you, isn't it? That you get that practice in ready for tomorrow's race. And in case you're wondering, PRL will be joining in going to this race and going to Kota tomorrow. You can catch that here as well. Don't you worry about that. You haven't got to go anywhere. All you got to do is stick on this channel and you'll be able to watch me waffle on about that one. So yes, as I was saying, our Henson P5 RMLF P9 secures 16 plus 8, so 24 points for the team in red. Obviously, that's the team that are the most competitive in comparison. Star Wars Beast, currently P6, isn't going to be enough for Williams. Really, Star Wars needed to be winning it. But, you know, that is life. And, oh, look at that. Jelena's got on past Mr. Cookie. Exactly what I said that he'd be hoping for. Mr. Cookie is going to try and come back, possibly get a switchback move if he can get the acceleration. No, just clips the inside of the house as he tried to go for a disappearing gap. Luckily, both of them, my apologies, are alive, because it didn't look like it was going to be that way. Mr. Cookie currently bringing home 18 points. Obviously, in comparison to the 24 that Ferrari are currently picking up, does mean that Ferrari will be catching. It will probably leave about a 25-point gap as it stands roughly at the moment. And shall I tell you what, I can just see a little bit here and there. I think it might be a bit of rain. Mr. Cookie tried to have a look down the inside there, elected against it, which I think is probably the wise move. There wasn't really the space for him. He just sort of, you know, you've got to have you at least got to have a check. Yeah, it's raining. It's raining. It's sort of rain, clear as day there. Right, okay, the rain is here. It's like 14, so it's kind of the time that I was thinking it could definitely get wet and dry up again within this amount of time. We're halfway through the race. So, time is a valuable commodity here, and I think it might just be something that quite a few of these drivers can use to their advantage. The fact that they actually have a bit of time to make decisions and opt for when to come on to those wet tyres. Mr. Cookie there getting past Jelena once again, but I think Jelena is going to come back for the inside. Doesn't quite make it work. Mr. Cookie holding the outside very nicely and does secure the place. P3 for Mr. Cookie at the moment, but our Henson right up the rear end of the Haas. So all of a sudden, a two-way fight for a podium position has basically become a four-way fight because Jay Thompson is very interested in getting involved as well. Star Wars Beast nearly was, and then it has just kind of gone to pot for him a little bit. Sorry, do excuse me. In the last lap or so, I think there might have been a slight incident between him and Jay Thompson, but I wasn't watching, so I couldn't give you a detailed analysis of it. And now our Henson is probably one of the closest men. The Haas as well. Jelena will try and get past Cookie. So our Henson and Cookie on the similar strategy. Jelena on mediums as well as Jay Thompson. So they're on the same strategy. So it's kind of a mix of both strategies. And it'd be interesting to see how both of the strategies fare up when you're throwing multiple people at them and sort of give them a stirring pot to fight. Right. I think our Henson might be trying to go for a move here on Jelena. Can he get it to work? He's going around the outside, which is going to allow Jelena a fantastic opportunity to try and defend on the in. Our Henson is pushed wide considerably, but does scoot through when switching to the inside. But I think the Haas might be able to get on the switchback here. The Ferrari will be able to do exactly the same and hold that inside line for the next corner. Block it off, ready for the triple right, which does give him the opportunity to hold it around the outside, which could considerably be faster through here. And I think is exactly what's happened because Jay Thompson's managed to get through past Jelena. So all of a sudden, the Ferrari is now fighting an Alpine and the Haas is diving into the pit lane. Okay, so it is gotten wet quickly. And Jelena is the first person to opt for the pits. Question is, though, is it too early? A few drivers are beginning to struggle, though. I'll give him that. You think there's quite a few people skating about all over the place. Indigo is driving nowhere near as fast as he was not that long ago. So is Pablos. He could slow down considerably. Mr. Cookie's still looking pretty pacey. Clocking down a bit of time on Pablos there through that first sector. But 3 people elected to pit that lap. Right, so this is certainly getting more and more interesting by the minute, because now it is very wet out there. I think most people are going to probably opt for the pit lane this lap round. You can just see the track that little bit more damp looking, and I think that is just going to make all the difference. I think it's just about dry enough to get away with it out there. You can still see some rubber on the track, and you know it's somewhat okay. Indigo really thriving in this, in these conditions, and going for another lap actually. So's Pablos, so's Cookie. So maybe it's not quite as wet as it looks. Joe Thompson coming into the pit lane. So is Star Wars Beast. Is Kresnos going to? I'm not too sure. He dives in as well. So does the McLaren. Aston Martin staying out. So Cam happy. Armalef not. Armalef in the wall. Jesus, good lord. Virtual safety car, though, is out, giving all of these drivers a huge advantage. Except, of course, for Armalef, because he's got to, swap a front wing on. Huge losses. Huge. So much time's going to get lost. And they're going to be absolutely fuming. Luckily, though, they won't be disadvantaged by not being on inters if it's a bit too wet for them now. As he does have to slow down there for a moment. Indigo just going a little bit too fast around the track. And there we go. We go green once again. It's not an awful lot of time, but it was just about enough time for everybody that was in the pit lane during that safety car to get out in time. Well, I say safety car, virtual safety car. Armalef just braked far too late on the slicks in a sort of a very wet part of the track. You knew it was going to happen. You could see it almost immediately. And Pablo struggling there, getting very loose around that right-hander. That's going to close the door. And Mr. Cookie is certainly going to be able to catch up to him a little bit, as Pablos also picks up a 3-second time penalty. Interesting enough, they are staying out. They are confident in the fact that this track isn't getting wet enough to switch to wet tyres. And to be fair, I kind of see their point. I mean, no spray is getting kicked up by any of the drivers that are rocking wet tyres at the moment. And more to the point, I mean, Cam out. Not sure why. Caution senses 1 and 3, so he's in the pit lane, having done that. Armalef currently skating all over the track. So he is out of the race. He's elected to DNF by the looks of it. Yeah, I mean, if I look at, I'm trying to look at the tyre temps. It's quite difficult. I think that's about 80 degrees. So they're hot for a set of intermediates. Armalef 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits as he DNFs from the race, as well as safety car, ladies and gentlemen, safety car, as Armalef has DNF'd on track rather than off track. So now, do Indigo, Pavlos, Cookie, and Henson come in, or do they bolt on a set of softs and say it's not going to get any heavier? This is interesting, So, top 4 drivers still saying it's dry enough. Right, okay. And I doubt he's going to pull in now. He is pulling in, but is it for inters or is it for softs? I don't know. Pablos also coming in. I mean, it's a safety car with 10 laps to go. You come in to the pits. Mr. Cookie in. Henson in. It's a set of inters for Indigo. Is it a set of inters for Pablos? It is. So actually, they have all agreed. Yes, it is intermediate weather. Let's get out there. Having, and I'm pretty confident in saying, not lost any positions, which they were almost bound to lose if it wasn't for that safety car. So huge wins for those top four drivers, because I don't know whether all of them would have been staying in the top four had it not been for that, because they would have lost that good 10 seconds to Kresnos easily. Kadam, interestingly enough, saying no, it's dry enough. However, it is still raining. You know what? So has Star Wars Beast, actually. Both of them have said, actually, we think it's dry enough. As Star Wars comes out of the pit lane after serving a penalty as well. So this is the only word I can use is interesting, because that's exactly what it is. What are we looking penalties wise? 3 seconds across the board. Bar Hazard, who's on 6, and Star Wars, who's on 5. That will be pit lane speeding or collision during safety car. I can only, that's sort of the only two you really ever get 5 seconds for. Oh, Henson once again apologising about the safety car, because it's not the immersive one, is it? It's the other version. You know, the one where it kind of just skips the safety car and you get going again straight away once everybody's joined up to the pack. And yeah, it's definitely looking a bit more wet now, isn't it? I'm amazed Star Wars Beast is comfortable out there. To be fair, so is Kadam, but Kadam's staying. Jelena, oh, I thought for a second then I thought Jelena was coming in. Mr. Cookie into the pits. Don't know why. How come Cookie is into the pit lane? He's in for a set of slicks, ladies and gentlemen, and to serve a penalty. Oh, Mr. Cookie thinks it's dry enough. The rain is still fall. May I say the rain is still falling. Is Mr. Cookie worried about the choice he's made? Because you know what? For the first time in a while, I'm noticing a little bit of spray. I think that might be because obviously the cars haven't been driving at full pelt around there as well. So the track's had a bit of time for water to build up on it. I think once we get going again, hopefully, hopefully for Cookie's sake, a dry line forms. You can see he's going to have to be so aggressive in keeping these tyres warm. He'll need this dry to stop. He'll need this track to stop raining almost immediately. I've never seen such aggressive tyre warming in my life. He's drifting all over the place. He's like 44 degrees, 54 degrees. Unless that's 80, I really can't read that. That's tiny, tiny little writing. Right, oh, we still got one person. We still got Star Wars. Did Star Wars come back in? Yeah, so Star Wars came out on a set of mediums, went, yeah, no, and has come back in and gone on to a set of inters. Which, to be fair, he was last, and he's lost a 5 second penalty. And he's now on the right tyres. You can't blame the guy. Mr. Cookie, though, I don't know whether it is masterclass of the century or biggest mistake of the century, because Kadam, ladies and gentlemen, is in as well. He's the man on the medium tyres. And he's saying, yeah, no. Inter's, I've made the wrong call here. That is going to drop Caden to last place. This has been a very long safety car as well, man. So it's just because people keep pitting. Every single lap, people keep pitting. So, what have we had? We've had quite a few people on slicks, of which we now only have one. Everybody's now switched to inters. Now everybody's joined up, so we're going to change over to this stupid animation thing. And then hopefully, I'm going to say probably lap 22, we'll get going. Oh, I don't think it's even going to be... Oh, no. The safety car's going around once again. Oh, right, okay. Lap 22 then. Yeah, don't you worry, R. Henson. We've let everybody know now. And we get ready to go once again. Indigo will lead us off. Mr. Cookie is not the only driver. Catet's on softs as well, interestingly enough. Mr. Cookie is just desperately trying to put heat in these tyres. He's sticking with his guns, which I'll say fair play to him. As Indigo gets going. And is immediately put under a bit of pressure from Pablos. But I don't think it's going to amount to anything just yet. But Pablos holding through turn 1 very well. Right. I'm interested in seeing how these guys get along. Because Catet has fallen to the back of the grid very quickly. Mr. Cookie is struggling to keep up. But can you see that? How already those sort of darker marks. That is a semi-dry line forming immediately. I mean, he is skating all over the place. But give it 3 laps, a couple of drivings over. My only worry is it's just going to get wet again. Pretty much as soon as it dries up, it's just going to get wet again straight away. Mr. Cookie just trying to do everything in his power to keep people behind, but I think he's going to get overtaken by Cadem. And by the looks of it, what's this? Pablos off the track. No, he's got going again, sorry. But has lost a lot of places all the way down to P6 and now under threat from the Haas going down the inside now. He'll have the inside for the double left-hander at 15. Gets it done nicely. Pablos, pushing maybe slightly, pushing Jelena a bit wide a bit, but he's managed to pick up a 3 seconds ability for it. He'll be arguing for that to be taken off. I can tell you that much for free. That's almost a guarantee. Excuse me. The rain is still falling, and we are on to lap 24. So unless the rain is fancying stopping now, I think Mr. Cookie's strategy might be one of the biggest blunders ever. Just ever. I think he is well aware of that fact as well. He's still holding the car to a fairly good condition. Really revving out that engine a lot and sliding a bit all over the place. But you know what? I've put my hands, I've put out my hand. He's done well so far for where, the conditions he is in. Catet has fallen to the back of the grid. And not quite the case for Jelena Kresnos. Able to get well, get well ahead during the acceleration zone there. But Jelena just getting him in top speed and possibly into the brakes. I think both of them locked up into that corner. But the Haas has just about managed to make it work as Caden gets past Hazard there, losing the place. And Styles Beast trying to hook it around the outside as well. Can he get that done? Not quite, unfortunately for him. Mr. Cookie is now quite a way off the back of everyone else. Yeah, 3 seconds off. Kresnov's finally getting past Jelena there. Oh no, actually, Jelena still on the left-hand side, but does succumb to Kresnov's position. So Indigo doing rather well, and somebody else who's doing rather well is the Ferrari of our Henson, who will be picking up quite a lot of points with this. Because as it stands at the moment, Mr. Cookie is picking up 4 points, pushing his lead to 33, but our Henson will then be closing it down with the help of Aramileth's single point. They have a total of 23 points, closing that gap down to 29 plus 4 minus 23, a 10-point gap for the final race of the season as it stands. Obviously, Joe Thompson could, get past our Henson and make the Ferrari's job a little bit harder. But we're currently yellow flag in sector 2. It's Mr. Cook. It's Cadet DNF'd. Virtual safety car. This could be, you never know, a possible opportunity for Mr. Cookie, but I can't see that being the case, to be totally honest with you. I think Mr. Cookie's race is done and dusted. And Kresnos gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. Oh, God, that is bad. That's really bad for Kresnos because, he's P5 at the moment. He's going to drop him straight to the back of the grid. He can't really get away with getting that much time back in a matter of laps. I mean, we have 3 laps remaining in this race. That's it. So that is Kresnos' race pretty much done, I'm afraid. Resurrection and Caden all very evenly split, actually, in the midfield, may I say. It's all of roughly a second gap between everybody, except for Caden. Caden's had a very good straight. His Cadet just leaves the session there. As I say that, he picks up a 3-second tyre penalty for going across the corner a little bit, I wouldn't say a bit harshly, but taking his own interpretation on what the words track limit mean, I think is probably the best way of putting that. Right, I've got to say, for a wet finish, I was expecting it to be a bit more wild than this. So, I mean, it was due to stop raining and dry out again, which is, I think, Mr. Cookie's idea. That was his plan, to let the rain stop, dry, and create a dry line for him to soar through whilst everyone else had to come into the pit lane. But the rain hasn't stopped in time. The rain has, though, just stopped. The rain has just this second stop. We have got 2 laps remaining. I'm going to be totally honest. No one's coming into the pits. No one's pitting. It's not happening. It's not going to be dry in a lap's time. One run, 10 cars over the start finish line isn't going to do a good enough job. I'm going to be totally honest with you. Oh, my mic is falling apart. No, it's that way. Lefty tighty, because it's upside down. Yep, there we go. So Indigo, at this point, may as well just start the brigade. Brigade, it's 4.8 seconds ahead of our Henson after that safety car. Square root of not that long ago. So the Alfa Romeo has done an absolutely fantastic job here so far. But yeah, as we can see, the track is Certainly beginning to dry. I mean, it's not. I mean, yeah, even if you look from Cookie's perspective. Ooh, well, hello. A bit of internet issues. It's not exactly slick conditions, is it? It's still very wet. You can still see the spray. I mean, he's kicking up spray from slick tyres, and he's picked up a 3-second time penalty with multiple warnings. I held it out in the hopes that he pulled off a strategic masterclass, because that would have been one hell of a talking point. But it hasn't quite happened. Jay Thompson's managed to just get past our Henson here in the move that I said was so likely to possibly happen. But taking a look at penalties, it's a 3-second time penalty for Jay Thompson. That time penalty is going to be applied in just over a lap's time. So I think our Henson's probably still in the safe for now. I mean, he's got to hold on 2.6 seconds over the course of the next sort of lap and a third. Oh, you never know. You never know. Caden is now really pushing to the inside. And you know what? This track is looking dry. Like, eerily dry. Can Mr. Cookie put on the run of a century and even just get... Kresnos has been disqualified, ladies and gentlemen. A disqualification for Kresnos for ignoring the drive-through penalty. It's not just a penalty at the end of the race. Nope, it is disqualification for the Alfa Romeo driver. That doesn't just put him to P11 either. That puts him down to P16. Dead stone cold last. Our Henson is still very comfortably holding P3 and will be pushed up to P2 in less than a lapse of time. Mr. Cookie is on a mission, I've got to say. He was at 5.2 seconds. How long ago? Half a lap. He's now on 2.5. So at that point, I think he could probably not end up 10th. I mean, he probably won't end up 10th anyway because of penalties. But if he got past Star Wars Beast, that would be impressive. I mean, he's going for it. He is speed. True speed. Unfortunately, however, he'll have Sector 3 to do that, which isn't a lot of time. Unfortunately for Star Wars Beast, though, he's been put in a spot of bother. But I'm going to have to jump over to the man at the front because he has led nearly the entirety of the race. He has done an absolutely phenomenal job at the front, and you can give him nothing but praise as Indigo wins here in the United States, in usually the very sunny state of Texas, but today it was a very wet and miserable Texas, as our Henson takes P2 after penalties and Pablos P4. Just in front as well, and Mr. Cookie has managed the comeback of a century as he pulls himself up to P7 in the end after being P10 at the end of Sector 2. I think is one of the best last moment comebacks. Had it have happened maybe a lap earlier, you never know, he might have been able to do something with the race, but unfortunately it wasn't to be for our current champion, and gives a huge bonus to Ferrari in the constructors title hopes and dreams. So with that, Indigo wins for the Alfa Romeo team after starting at the front and picking up the fastest lap. Not quite a Grand Slam because he didn't lead every lap, unfortunately, but a very, very, very good race for Indigo nevertheless. Our Henson in P2 for Ferrari gives them a huge points bonus to take to the final race with Mercedes. Jay Thompson in P3 for Alpine And Pablos P4 for the AlphaTauri team. Resurrection at P5 after starting P15. A very good result for the Alpine driver. And Jelena in P6 for Haas. Mr. Cookie P7 for Mercedes. And Hazard P8 for AlphaTauri. Caden P9 for McLaren. And Star Wars Beast at P10 for Williams. Catett's P11 for the Aston Martin team. And his teammate Can in P12. Amalef P13 for Ferrari. And Blackbone at P14 for Williams. F1ology in P15 for Red Bull. And Kresnos rounding out the pack in P16 for Alfa Romeo after that disqualification. Cadet and below having DNF'd from the race. So with that, I say thank you all very much for watching. We have but one race left to go, and it will, well, at least the constructors does indeed come down to the final race. Thank you all very much for watching for what has actually been a very interesting round 7 at Kota. I did say that I was feeling very tired. I feel a lot more awake now. So thank you to the drivers. Thank you to everybody that had a chat with me as well. It's always greatly appreciated. I am the Characteristics. Good night.